Hey guys, I got back.
You guys know that this channel is about my recovery. Cannabis is a big part of that. My sister Maggie got me this high roller shirt. I'm also wearing this red necklace that my brother Andy got me. It's even adaptable for me, so it's easy to take on and off. I'm going to get onto my soapbox in this one. It's rather difficult for me with the ramp and everything. Plus, once I'm up here I have to be really careful not to fall off. If I take a little tumble, I'm
gonna have a bad time.
going to get into today's topic, cannabis. More specifically, the weird stigma surrounding it, as well as the medical benefits. Get ready for a Disabled Danny deep dive on cannabis. So cannabis has been used throughout human history, as you can see. I won't drone on about that because we'd literally be here all day. But ever since this country started to escape religious persecution, which was a fancy way of saying that they wanted to religiously persecute. So naturally we tried forcing people to behave and act a certain way with those great little footnotes of history like Manifest Destiny and oh yeah, the literal slave trade. The point is, this country was founded on old white men bossing people around. So in 1920 the 18th Amendment was ratified, which marked the beginning of Prohibition. People really didn't like that, and it led to a lot of problems like organized crime, but this video isn't about Prohibition, it's about cannabis. Prohibition was a massive failure, as you probably know, and was repealed in 1933. The fact people cared so much about alcohol kind of says a lot, but like I said, I'm not talking about that today. So even though Prohibition wasn't a thing anymore, this guy, Harry J. Anslinger, still had a real hard-on for bossing people around. So he did the wonderful thing of comparing cannabis use to the real immigration issue they were having. Even the term marijuana is rather racist. Obviously, I'm not about to get butthurt about it, but it's actually called cannabis. Marijuana was just bastardizing what those dirty Mexicans called it. It was just incredibly racist. They couldn't even agree on the incorrect spelling, and that's where the whole Reefer Madness thing came from. And if you haven't seen Reefer Madness, holy shit. All of that ignorance and racism led to cannabis being criminalized nationwide. That was in the 1930s though. So we were kind of preoccupied with a world war and whatnot after that, and it was put on the back burner. But when good old tricky Dick Nixon became president, he was rather unpopular. So he used good old-fashioned propaganda to get ahead and not be a crook. I think his chief of domestic affairs says it best. Literally. This is an actual quote. We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. We could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news. Did we know we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did. Do you think that propaganda about cannabis for political gain would stop? How cute. Fast forward past Watergate and that whole thing to the 1980s to Ronald Reagan's presidency. And I think everyone knows about the Just Say No campaign, even if they weren't alive for it. They even had Scruff McGruff in on that shit.
McGruff here with Regina to sing Users Are Losers.
You know it's okay to say no. I'm telling you it's true. Learning when to say no.
Say no.
That's what you need to do. Learning how to say no.
Say no.
Can make a winner of you. 'Cause users are losers and losers are users. So don't use drugs. Don't use drugs. Winners don't use and users don't win. Don't use drugs, don't use drugs. If you know a user even part of the time, tell
Cut the
them
clip. Take a bite out of crime.
users are losers and losers are users. So don't use drugs.
And help me take a bite out of crime.
Why are we associating drug use with crime? Seems incredibly arbitrary when things like alcohol and tobacco are legal. But that leads me to my personal experience with propaganda, the DARE program. I just realized how many anthropomorphic animals were used for propaganda. That's weird, right? I was a lot like most kids in that DARE went in one ear and right out the other. I smoked a lot of weed as a high schooler because I thought I was the shit. I was pretty much your stereotypical stoner from when I was about 16 for a solid decade. I quit cold turkey when I was applying to the police academy, and one of the theories is that prolonged cannabis use suppressed the brain tumor.
I'm a tumor, I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor, I'm a tumor, I'm a tumor. I'm a tumor, I'm a tumor, I'm a tumor. Oh, I'm a tumor.
I'm going to talk about my week now, but in reverse order. Today is Friday, which is a shopping and gym day. This week is a dispensary week, obviously. I started at the Recovery Project recently and feel really good about it. I had my normal cognitive therapy on Monday, which was great as usual. I mentioned that Fridays are my shopping days. When I go grocery shopping, I always have the munchies in mind. I almost forgot to include this cheese pull from Taco Tuesday. I'm about to roll out, but I want to make my final point. I'm going to skip the soapbox because I really don't feel like doing that right now and
I do what I want.
But cannabis being criminalized is just super arbitrary and rooted in racism and ignorance. Like I said, I'm about to roll out, but if you want more you can go to my website disableddanny.com. For even more you can subscribe to join my cult, the Dan Fam. I really appreciate all of you Dan fans, and I really want you guys to be gentle and safe while liking and hitting the bell.
Peace out, y'all.